finish.
You can't spot anyone 21 points. And, we spotted Georgia Tech 21 points. And, proud how the guys battled back. I think sometimes that happens, not because you're not ready to play, but more that you just cannot simulate the speed of the game. And obviously, one of our big concerns was all the speed they had on the offensive side of the ball. And, we got selfish a little bit, where we're trying to do more than our job. And when we settled in and just did our job, I think we played some good football. I think we gave up 8 plays for like 200 yards, and the rest of it was two per attempt. So again, like those explosive plays just absolutely killed us. And a lot of that is guys trying to do too much. And I told the team, and I'll be very candid and honest. I heard a couple times I'm trying to make a play, and I said, well, that's what losing teams try to do. They try to make a play. Winning teams just do their job. Losing teams, they try to make a play. And so we have to get rid of that. And we're working on that. And I think we're making some progress. But yeah, we have to get rid of this. I'm trying to make a play. It's a team sport. You need all 11, and you have 1/11 to do. And that's kind of where we are right now. So, the next week coming up is our get better week, because we got to get better. There is stuff to work with here. Like I said, spot them 21, and we end up losing by 21. And I put us a little bit harm's way going for the onside kick, but like we just wanted to play to the end. We were going to take this thing all the way to the end, and our kids did play to the very end. So anyway, questions?
Besides, you got it back to 21-14, and then was your description of the guys trying to make a play? Did that also apply both of the third quarter touchdown runs?
Yeah, I have to see it. I think that's one where our backside tried to, overran it, and he cut it back on us, because they had a couple of big plays where, the backside pursuit actually overran it and got out of position, and they cut it back. And they have the kind of speed where, they're going to hurt you if you let them do that. So I have to see it on tape, but I know a couple of times it was more the backside pursuing and just overran it when he cut it back. But again, down 21, I think a lot of I didn't blink. I knew that our kids would keep on playing. They worked too hard not to keep on playing. And I thought they played, at times they did some really good things. We had a fourth and could have been spotted either way. And we had a couple plays like that could have gone our way. But, they're a really good football team. There's a reason why they're in the top 20 in the country. And it was good to see that after we settled down, we played, snap to snap with them.
Did it also feel like maybe Alan Hayes' face mask changed momentum?
Yeah, so those kind of plays too, where you think you can get a big play, then all of a sudden, you have something like that happen. So we had a number of those kind of plays. When I say number, a couple of those plays where, just was a momentum shift, and again, that really hurt us, because we're going to be in great shape there and we're going to get the ball back.
You had described how, there's system-wise, your defense should have seen what they do.
Well, no, so system-wise, they are a pre-snap, very multiple formations, shifts, motions, funky formations, like unbalanced and things. But they run the counter game like no one's business. That's not what we do. We're not really a counter team. So we really simplify some things to really try to make sure that we fit the run better. And you saw in the third quarter, one of our guys, instead of spilling it, gets upfield, trying to make a play. Don't try to make a play. Like, your job is to spill it. You spill it, it's going to be a 2-yard gain. So there are some plays like that we really got to emphasize. But yeah, the pre-snap stuff is in the same family. The philosophy that we're never going to stay stagnant. Either we're going to use a tempo, a shift, a motion, a funky formation to make you think. So in that way, they're similar, but they're really heavy counter game and heavy quarterback run game. And that counter, boy, I was so impressed with their offensive line. I mean, I thought, like you talk about the best parts of that team, that O-line was tremendously athletic. And, you could see that was the strength of that team. So, but formationally and philosophy, pre-snap, very similar, but the other stuff was different.
on the other side, I think you probably converted all the scoring opportunities. Do you feel like maybe you didn't leave points off the board? You sort of left drives off the board.
Yeah.
Like things got going, and then
Yeah, there's a couple drives that you just felt you could have finished off and you didn't finish off, and end of the half, possibly would have been wiser maybe to see if we could have gotten 3 or 4 closer, yards closer, to see if we could kick that long field goal. And I've seen Carl kick 60 plus in the past, and actually I think he's hit a 67-yarder in practice with a little breeze to his back. So he's the guy that at the end of a half or a game and at 60 yards, we're not going to be afraid to put him out there.
were you really? It seemed like more so than the first 3 weeks, going out of your way to get the ball to JoJo.
Yeah, so I think you identify who your playmakers are, and JoJo's definitely a playmaker, and he's a guy who you get him in space. You can do some special things. So I just think that when we looked at the offense, a lot of times it's like who we need to get the ball to, at the end of the game. Like, okay, wish we'd have gotten JoJo some more touches. I think we have all felt that we need to get JoJo some more touches, and so we definitely got JoJo some more touches this week.
Did you like 4th and goal, and there was besides a spot on that one, but you had a 4th and goal where you just dove Ducker and you got it, a 4th and 1.
Yeah, those are the kind of moments. Again, we're trying to prepare for the conference play, and I wanted the guys to fight all the way back. We onside kicked. I know we're down 3 scores, but I just wanted to guys, we're going to just keep on fighting to the end. Just keep on fighting, and so we may have put ourselves in harm's way there on that score. But again, the explosive plays, we got to get that fixed, because if you look at us defensively, there's times that we're playing some just great defense, but just too many of those explosive plays are getting us. Partly was their skill set, but also partly we're just not, in the right position enough time. So again, we're gonna look at the tape. Proud of the guys battling back, making it a 21-point game. So we spotted him 21, and we ended up making a 21-point game. And it was nice seeing us drive down and get that touchdown to them.
Your evaluation of Evan today?
Yeah, I have to see it. I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes I get caught up in too many things, so I can't really. I spent a lot of time other places than with the offense. I was with the special teams a bunch. I was with the defense a bunch. So a lot of that's a blur. A lot of times I'm bouncing over to my OC saying, hey, you have 2 downs here. And that's kind of where I was more than and evaluating his play or anything like that. So. Again, I'll have to look at it on tape. I didn't really get a feel for how we played.
How about penalties, decent, and special teams penalties in particular?
Yeah, we got to clean that stuff up. It's just frustrating that, maybe we need to bring the officials back out again. We did that early in the season, and I thought it was helpful. But there's just too many things that are fixable. Penalties that you shouldn't have. And an offsides on kickoff rate. You can't do that. I'm surprised they didn't manage to run down again. I would have done that. I said, hey, you know what? You guys are tired, run down again. But those penalties kill you. So it's those little things. And again, the penalties have to, we have to limit those, especially going into the conference play that we're, looking at in front of us.
And what's the game plan for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, so we will, we'll be in Monday. And we'll team meet. We're not going to practice, but we're going to get in the weight room, and we'll run them, and then we'll practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we'll lift them, and then they'll have Saturday off and Sunday off, and then we'll get back after it Monday. So I can envision that we'll probably do defensively some triple option stuff, because you need to find time to get some Navy and Army stuff in there. This is the time to do that, and so we'll make sure that everything's installed, so when we actually get to that Navy week or that Army week, we've already installed that. That's one of the tricky things as you're putting together your calendar and your schedule, is figuring out when you have those triple option games and saying, okay, here's a window that we can implement, terminology, different, because you just can't play a base defense against that stuff.